Morning, Cameron. Well, thank you for coming on today. So, Cameron, could you just explain to everyone on what we're talking today and your background, please, in this
Yeah.
subject?
So been coaching for 11 years. And the topic we're going to talk about is obviously the UEFA A license.
Yeah.
That's a course I've just completed within the last month. The course lasts over a year through the Football Association of Wales and also UEFA. And yeah, so in terms of my pathway and within my coaching, it's been predominantly through with grassroots academy football within Penabont and also women's first team football within Penabont and Britain Ferry, tiers 2 and tier 1.
Yeah. And what does a successful training session look like to you as a licensed coach?
I think throughout the last few years of like going through the B license, A license, um, having clear objectives for the sessions, so
Yeah.
then you're able to measure them if that session was successful in terms of what you were hoping for. Because I'll be honest, when I first started coaching, some of my sessions were like a bit off the cuff, or they would have like a basic principle or objective. However, it was like it wasn't really measurable in terms of like, did it go? Was it successful? I might have an opinion if it went well or didn't go well, but it's hard then to judge if it was successful, if the meaning of the session was fully shown.
Yeah.
So I think having clear session plans where you have topics and discussion points that you want the players to learn from, and then drills and where you can clearly measure if something that's been done or if it hasn't been done.
Yeah. Okay. And thing is, football is just more than football, isn't it, and coaching? It's like I'm not like I've played football with you, Cameron, and I, but I've never
Yeah.
coached in my life. So I've learned a lot from speaking to you. But how important is psychology compared to tactics in modern football?
Oh, absolutely massive. It is, I think, probably that is a key fundamental to having a
Mhm.
successful team. But
Yeah,
having a team that is, like I said, competitive and successful, and also then you have players on your side in terms of players are willing to run those extra yards for you. They're willing to take on your advice. They'll yeah, like literally last night in our presentation where I spoke to quite a few of the under-19s players for next year because I'll be coaching them next year. And every single one of them I spoke to give me key points on how they want to gain belief and confidence in their ability,
yeah,
how they wanted just someone to listen to them and
yeah,
basically being there as a coach for them as a player, as a person, not just a player.
yeah. Because the thing is, it's all in the mindset as well with football, isn't it?
Yeah,
And psychology is a vital part on like how you reflect on how you manage your emotions, how you actually deal with challenges as well. Like it's more than just tactics on the board.
yeah,
It's like I remember watching this one documentary. I know it's a little bit off topic with sport, but it's fullback for Italy, and he was like kind of like psychologically impacted, and then that actually impacted his performance. But he's such an incredible fullback. So
yeah.
on counselling, it just shows how much psychological like effects there is in football
I definitely, yeah.
and rugby as well. So what I know you as well for many years, Cameron. I know kind of puts a lot of work in, and there's so many coaching and work and certificates. But what's been challenging the most, would you say, that people may not expected on this journey?
But it's in terms of like the courses I've done, I'd
Yeah.
say it's the time limitations in terms of like getting the assessments done on time. Thankfully, my mentor on the A license was really effective in terms of like his communication, so that made the
Excellent.
whole process um, a lot more easier to manage in terms of like I'd send in my assessment on the Monday, and I'd have the feedback and everything back by the Friday.
Oh,
So
excellent.
that would give me the time frame then to whether if it's a pass, which thankfully predominantly was,
Yeah.
then I can move on to the next one. Or if there's something he wanted me to add or adjust, then I'd have a decent bit of time then to do that and then move forward after it. So I
Yeah.
think that was one thing. And then also like even like the little um the little parts of the sessions where the numbers of players, I think with our squad of the 17s this year, we only had like 14 players, and one of
Yes.
the assessments I needed 22. So that was probably the biggest challenge in terms of working around that and getting players to come in from other squads, and having players stay on an extra half hour, or players just turn up, and like first team players might come in and drop in and help out as well. So that's what I'd say the biggest challenge was.
Goodness, and that must be difficult to navigate. Like, especially when you haven't got ample players to fit that criteria, then people are leaving, and then to ask them to come an extra 30 minutes, like, that must be difficult.
Yeah, there's so many different moving parts to it. Like from reflecting with other coaches who have gone through similar process,
Yeah.
they've some of the stories and reflections I've heard have been crazy in terms of
Yeah.
it might be like two players drop out on the night, which means you can't do the session. Someone's taken the last VO because we have to record every session, every
Oh,
assessment, and the only VO at the club has been used, and they've not been able to record their assessment, or the club have double booked on the pitch, so they only got half a pitch and things like that. And yeah, there's a lot of different moving parts, and thankfully I managed to get through it. But thanks for my work in the school where I just used the PE lesson. Um, but yeah, there's a lot of different moving parts. So for other people, it's been a lot more stressful. Thankfully for myself, I've managed to work around it.
yeah, good. And has football coaching changed you as a person over the last like 10, 11 years?
Yeah, 100% in terms of my like day-to-day planning. Even like not I know I plan sessions as well, but even just trying to like if I'm in a half term or spare evening free from coaching, I'll plan a few things and I'll make sure like I've got things structured, because I
Yeah,
think that's a little habit that I've taken from coaching into personal life. Um, and just think how I am as a person in terms of how I communicate,
yeah,
how I adjust to how I communicate as well to be effective to the audience. So that comes from that, especially my work in the school, I'd say. So
yeah,
I think my coaching background has helped me a lot in terms of being effective within my job within the school.
yeah. And yeah, and especially where you work as well, like coaching kids as well, then using and transferable skills, then definitely I feel like a lot of like our passions, like hobbies or like courses, does change the way you think and approach a lot of tasks or situations.
Yeah, definitely. It's this A license especially has
Yeah,
given me a lot of knowledge, but not just like how to coach, but like you said, we've previously talked about psychology. Like the last couple of weeks and last couple of contacts we've had have been talking about how to be a leader,
yeah,
um, and yeah, just how you get players on board through
goodness, yeah.
caring for them, showing care for them as well.
Yeah, and just for people what are watching, like, can you tell me like some of the people who've got an A license qualification just to show like how massive achievement this is?
Yeah, so well, on the last contact we had, where we all officially passed the course, there was Aaron Ramsey, played for Wales. He's just started his pro license, so he was there starting that, but he'd passed his A license. I think it was a year or two prior.
Yeah,
Robbie Savage, ex Premier League footballer, currently Forest Green manager in the National Conference, so the league below League Two.
yeah.
He had literally just passed his A license as well.
Wow.
um, and then the biggest one for me, the Chelsea manager in the FA Cup final this year is also an A license holder. So he hasn't got his pro license yet. I imagine he will in the future.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's managing an FA Cup final. He's got the same qualification. Yeah,
Well, let's just hope in the next 10, 15 years we see you in the Premier League. And
yeah,
then the trips are on you end, Cameron.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, we'll have a few good social events.
Almost certainly. And just the last question then of this interview is for people getting involved in coaching, I feel like it's definitely a growing part of like football, like people actually getting into coaching. Because I see a lot of people like quite young as well, like 20, 21 into coaching, whereas maybe you would have thought they maybe want to play football first.
Yeah,
So what like advice or tips would you give those type of people going into coaching?
I'm gonna play in that. I definitely say still play alongside your coaching,
Yeah,
because it gives you that different point of view as well,
yeah,
um, and it just gives you extra knowledge. Like you'll see things and you'll feel things on the pitch, and then it can change and adjust how you think on the sideline. So
yeah,
like you it might be you're on the pitch and you might think normally you'd say for a player to do a certain thing, but then you're on the pitch and you're in the moment and you're feeling it, and you're feeling like that's physically like I won't be able to reach those levels. So then
Yeah.
you're thinking, and it'll change your thinking as a coach and think like, well, I know for a fact that that's a tough run to do. So
Yeah.
me asking them to do that X amount of times isn't really realistic.
Yeah.
So adjust how you're thinking there. But also I think like, yeah, you are completely right. There are a lot more younger coaches coming into it, which is great. And also the different types of avenues you can go down through coaching. So like, it's not just like coaching and your head coach or your assistant coach. You can have like set piece coaches. It could be physical coach. We've talked about psychology coach. There's a lot of different avenues for coaches to go down now.
Yeah.
Opposition analysis. You can do ID. There's IDP coaches where they just talk to players one to one. So
Okay.
there's so
Yeah.
many different avenues you can go down. I think that's why a lot more. There's a lot more youth within coaches now because they're seeing these different types of pathways and they're getting motivated by it.
Yeah. And without coaches, a team's not going to function. Like, I think a
Yeah,
lot of people may think it's 11 players on that pitch, but actually, so much goes behind that. And in all fairness, when I watch interviews with players, they also realize that as well. Like, without the coaches, there wouldn't also be a team. So it's more than just 11. You're saying 20 plus usually.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see coaching staff these days. Well, I said Britain Ferry. Next year we've got like 4 coaches within this age group. The first team will
Goodness.
probably have like 5. So yeah, it's a lot more than just like 1 or 2 people. But yeah, it's also a key fundamental to it. And I also think with the youth coaches coming through, with the use of like social media, like TikToks, YouTube,
Yeah.
things like that, X as well, where there's a lot of like you can keep up to date. It's all the modern trends are very accessible in
Yeah.
terms of doing research yourself, or even if it's just watching a quick like 2 minute video on a
Yeah.
modern trend from the Premier League, and it's a lot more accessible now. So I think that's why you see a lot more coaches at a lot younger ages.
Yeah. And just on that note, have you got like a nickname for anyone or a nickname for yourself in football?
Most of the people just call me Cammy, to be fair.
Oh, do they? Very
Yeah,
nice.
but there's a few players who make nicknames for and things like that. There was one before I accidentally called a player. His name was Georgie, and I accidentally called her John. I don't know how I did that, but it was in the middle of a
It's
game.
fine. We've all been there.
Yeah, and I think it's like 4 years on, and then I think the players are still calling her John because that was at the
John.
previous club. Yeah, but yeah, it's some
We
just
all
come
love
on
a
that.
John.
Like,
Well,
if you
that's
love
the
a
end.
certain yeah.
Yeah, that's the end of the interview. Welcome. I appreciate you coming on today, and it's nice because I've taken a lot from that because I'm not very knowledgeable in the football coaching aspect.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Take care, Cam.
Nice one.